If you want to check out different content from myself, I've just set up a second channel where I'm going to post fitness and things. The link for that will be in the description. And of course, if you want to avoid the random lottery of FIFA points, you want to go straight to the source, buy the players directly, use u7buy.com and use the code TVM at checkout. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to another video. And today we are going to do more of my favourite players through FIFA 20. However, today we're going to add a couple more in. So we're going to do three main ones. We'll talk about them. First up is going to be Heung-min Son's 87 rated card. Now, the reason we're talking about him now, as a lot of you may have noticed already, we're kind of going in order as the way that they were released. And when I was doing the reviews, I've basically just been going through... obviously, some of the ones I remember straight away will feature, but I've been going through my reviews, and I've gone from back to front. And Heung-min Son was actually a card I didn't end up reviewing until quite later on, really, in his in the game's life cycle. Reason for that is because the 87 was just really expensive at the beginning of the game, but also because he was still 200,000 coins quite late on. So I did a video, is he still worth 200k? And the answer was yes. He is a very, very good player, and one of those that I think was a little bit ahead of its time, because even though we all know a 5-star weak foot is highly desirable, whether we really notice it in game or not is kind of irrelevant. It is a desirable thing to have. However, the meta in this game really does call for either outside of the foot shot trait with a 4-star weak foot or 5-star weak foot. And because Heung-min Son had it, there was always something about him that everyone really liked, myself included, but we couldn't quite put our fingers on why he was so good. Because if you look at his stats, don't get me wrong, they're still good, but he's not the fastest player. He doesn't have great balance. His strength is next to nothing. His passing is okay, but it's not great. And yet, he makes a fantastic cam. You can play him out wide. You can put him up front. Why do you think that is? It's because he's got a lean body type, therefore he fits the meta very well, but he also has a 5-star weak foot, together with the finesse shot trait, solid player, whatever that does. But in general, he's built for FIFA 20. And given that the FIFA 21 gameplay so far that we've had, the beta that we've played, it kind of feels and looks very similar to how FIFA 20 is. Obviously, we're all hoping that even if it is similar, it kind of just, you know, they've cut out all the bad stuff about this game. Because it does look like, you know, possession seems to be a thing. And high agility players with good dribbling is still going to be a thing next year. So if you've been looking forward to using Andy Carroll again with a great deal of success like you could do in FIFA 19, I think your dreams are going to go on. Honourable mention time, and we are going to talk about a team of the season, even though I said we're going to try and stick to the lower rated cards. Orsic does have an 86 rated headliner. However, I didn't find that card to be anywhere near as effective as his team of the season. His team of the season is like a jet engine. He is so fast. Give him the ball, let him run, and he will rip through anyone in his way. He's so quick. He's not a player that I used a tremendous amount. His skills for me were a little bit annoying. High defensive work rate wasn't ideal. And there are a few other things here or there, you know, like trying to link him into a team, for example. Not the easiest thing in the world to do. Not impossible, because you've got like Flashback Modric and what have you. But again, still not something I'm sort of willing to... a sacrifice, if you will, but definitely worth an honourable mention, because I had an awful lot of fun with him, especially off the bench, bringing him on and just seeing the faces of the defenders, because, you know, they can't catch him. He's just that quick, especially against tired legs. Up next is an icon, our first icon, and I'm not sure there's going to be many more icons, to be fair, because even though the base and the mid have been fairly accessible this year to the majority of people, because they're not that expensive, because they fell behind the power curve quite quickly, and also because of swaps and things, people do tend to have a few of them. But I haven't really used many icons consistently. Hadji is one of those I used fairly consistently. I don't own him anymore. I ended up giving him up in some sort of SBC. However, he was used for around 300 games, I think. In and around the time, actually, you could pick up his son, his season objective card. I think in and around that time I picked him up. I played him in the same team together maybe once or twice, and then I shipped him on. But either way, I've got an awful lot of debt to him, really, because he did see me through some lean time, shall we say. The club wasn't doing too well. We didn't particularly have any great players. Sometimes in champs, we really did need like a player to step up and get us an assist or get us a goal, and he did. He was that player. His stamina wasn't particularly very good, especially for being played in a 4-2-3-1 as the cam. But when he was able to play and not be on the floor panting, he was very, very good. 4-star was obviously something nice to have. He had the chip shot trait, which I don't think I ever used, and a flare trait as well, which may have come in handy once or twice, I'm sure. However, he did, like I said, fall behind quite quickly. His left foot was dangerous because obviously being left-footed, you'd expect so. But from distance, he did score me a fair few goals. I did really enjoy this card as well, actually, and I would maybe not recommend to get him now, but the Moments card I would have thought isn't. Yeah, it's not. It's 140 to 150,000 coins. I would recommend the Moments card to anyone who's looking for a fun player to use, because he does step up in big important games, if, of course, you still play champs. Another honourable mention then is going to be SaintMaximin. Now, I have two cards I'd like to honourably mention, really, and that is the 84 Inform, which I had as a red pick, and the Man of the Match, the 82, because the Man of the Match was extinct for a while, managed to pick him up and get a review done of him, and I really enjoyed him, and the fact that he was central as well. Now, when he came out, he was actually behind the curve, because he wasn't, stats-wise, as good as you'd hope, but having 5-star skills and being as good as he is in game, like whatever version you pick up, it's going to cost you a fair amount of coins. The 82 is still 35, 40k. The 84 is still around 60k. The 88 foot birthday card is between 300,000 and 400,000, and then his, unfortunately, he didn't win the vote, so you could pick him up in draft for the summer heat, but still, I'd imagine that card would have been unbelievably expensive. I don't think he won the vote, did he? It says extinct here, so I'm guessing he's in draft. But either way, honourable mention to SaintMaximin, who I really enjoyed in this FIFA. And hopefully, if next FIFA's similar, he will be very good in that game as well. And finally, last but certainly not least, a player who a lot of people will be surprised to see in this list, I'm sure, and that is going to be Thilo Kehrer. I really, really liked his, Future Stars card. For some reason, I don't know why, but for some reason, he was so much better than his stats suggested. He had the pace. He wasn't particularly agile or anything like that. I can't remember what chem style I gave him. You've probably seen it on screen, but he had a 5-star weak foot. He had some really good defensive stats. So that's just for argument's sake, say that I gave him a backbone, which sounds like something I would do. Either that or a guardian, actually. If you give him a guardian, okay, these days, there are definitely better players, but he still turns into a 92 rated centre-back. Bear in mind, this came out in early February, and even now he's a 92 rated centre-back. I honestly, if I put him in defence, I genuinely don't think it would be that big a deal. If I had him next to my Summer Heat Kimpembe, and I put, Steve Mandanda in goal or something, we're going to get enough chemistry, and that's not actually a bad way to go. I do have Burnout as well, actually, the UCL Showdown. So, yeah, I might get him back again, because he was a solid centre-back for so long. And even now, I still feel like he could do a job for you. Definitely, in my opinion, a player that went under the radar. I know a lot of people won't think twice about it, because there's so many centre-backs in the game that they could use. But I do really, really like this card, and I will remember that card for a long time. When they release Future Stars next year, I know we're not going to get him again, but I think my memory will be jogged to think back to, oh yeah, I remember Kehrer. What a card that was. Really enjoyed that. That will do it for another one of my favourite players in FIFA 20. I understand that it's more or less regurgitated content, but at this stage of the game, what am I meant to do, really? Let's be honest. I'm just going back through and having one final sort of reminder of what we've done, essentially, through FIFA 20. It's always nice to sit back and have a look to see what you've actually done in terms of, like, videos. Because when you're doing them, it's just a case of, right, I need to get this video done. You're not really thinking about the process. It's just you're on autopilot, and then you get it out, and then you start thinking about the next one because there's just no time to sit around. But at the end of the game cycle, when things start to wind down, and essentially we're just waiting for the new iteration of the game, I like to sit back and see what we've done. And, you know, scrolling through all the reviews I've done, it's just mad to see that I've done that many. Like this year, more so than last year, we've been on that review kick. And of course, going into next year, we will be as well. But hopefully you're enjoying these. If you are, do me a favour and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and until the next time, goodbye.
Football Index. The game changed. Download the app now.